Before he was Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. only lasted 1 year on Saturday Night Live.
You did one season of SNL?
Yes, arguably the worst season in its history. They also said I was the worst cast member, but come on, there's a lot of competition for that.
While Adam Sandler and Chris Rock were on the show together for a few years, they too were let go from SNL.
I always tell them how SNL was the greatest time of my life, and my daughter asked me if it was the greatest, Dad, then why did you leave? I was fired. I was fired. I was fired, so sad to tell. Well, I never saw it coming. I got fired from SNL. Why'd you ever leave the show? I don't understand that.
Why did I leave the show? Well, Adam, I got fired. I was fired. I was fired by NBC.
Yes.
However, let's begin by talking about Norm Macdonald and Shane Gillis, who both were fired from Saturday Night Live and then went on to rise to the top of the stand-up comedy scene. Norm Macdonald's career on Saturday Night Live was marked by his distinctive comedic style, deadpan delivery, and a clever desire for pushing boundaries.
In entertainment news, Ellen DeGeneres and lover Anne Hesh have announced that they want to have a baby. However, their plan has hit a snag. They are both women. It is not possible to have a child.
Joining the cast in 1993, Macdonald quickly became a standout performer and the anchor of the Weekend Update segment, often seen as the most prestigious role on SNL.
Say they are developing a pill which can give women orgasms without having sex. Read all about this revolutionary discovery in my new book, The World's Most Dangerous Drug.
Taking on the highly regarded role of Weekend Update anchor, Norm Macdonald brought a fresh and unpredictable energy to the segment.
This week is Taxi Cab Appreciation Week, so to all you taxi cab drivers out there, I'd appreciate it if you'd take a shower once in a while. How'd that
His delivery, often described as nonchalant, became a trademark, and he infused the news satire with his distinct comedic sensibility. Macdonald's acerbic commentary on politics and pop culture left a lasting impression on SNL viewers, but it also got him in trouble.
You don't mind if I ask you a question?
What's that?
I hear this story, and there's like this press release that you get your ass fired. Is that true? No, you didn't get fired.
Yeah, they fired me.
No, they didn't fire you.
No, I'm serious. I talked to a guy that said I'm fired.
Fired from your television job?
From on the weekend, I do the news segment.
Yeah, the Weekend Update.
Yeah, and I do the jokes.
Sometimes, many times, the best part of the show.
Yeah. But it's all a matter of opinion. That's your opinion.
That's my opinion, yeah.
But then the guys that can fire me, that's not their opinion.
Now,
So why was Macdonald fired from SNL? Well, it appears the blame rested on NBC executive Don Ohlmeyer, and by the sound of it, Ohlmeyer wasn't a fan of Macdonald's brand of humor. Macdonald didn't indulge in any hot gossip, but rumors persisted that his firing had to do with a running bit Macdonald had on Weekend Update, where he would make fun of O.J. Simpson by telling jokes about how he allegedly murdered Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Often these references came entirely out of left field. Ohlmeyer was apparently good friends with Simpson and didn't take kindly to the plethora of jokes at his expense. In fact, the bad blood carried over even after Macdonald left SNL. Ohlmeyer allegedly told Conan O'Brien not to book Macdonald anymore on his late-night talk show, but O'Brien defended his friend to the executive.
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were with OJ too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's his buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah, well, that's why you got canned.
OJ's a good guy. I mean, he's not. Well, let's get to OJ. OJ Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind OJ of how much more killing he still has to do.
Following his departure from SNL, Norm Macdonald continued to build on his comedic legacy. Similar to fellow comedian Shane Gillis, who was also fired from SNL amidst scandal.
Saturday Night Live shakeup, the show firing one of its new cast members.
Shane Gillis's controversy with SNL emerged in 2019 when he was announced as a new cast member for the show's 45th season. Shortly after the announcement, several past podcast clips surfaced online of Shane Gillis jokingly making insensitive comments.
And I got down there and I heard like clopping down the bricks behind me. And I turned around, dude, and it was a slave reenactor. It was just a black dude dressed as a slave and just me in a tracksuit standing there.
The controversial remarks led to a significant backlash. In response to the public outcry, Shane Gillis issued an apology acknowledging the offensiveness of his past remarks. So here's what Shane Gillis had to say. I'm a comedian who pushes boundaries. I sometimes miss. If you go through my 10 years of comedy, most of it is bad. You're going to find a lot of bad misses. I'm happy to apologize to anyone who's actually offended by anything I've said. My intention is never to hurt anyone, but I'm trying to be the best comedian I can be, and sometimes that requires risks. However, the controversy took a more severe turn when SNL announced that Gillis would no longer be a part of the cast. This was a major event in the comedy world. Fellow comedians began to speak up in defense of Gillis as they argued cancel culture was limiting their ability to make jokes.
Well, this is just cancel culture. The guy shouldn't have been fired. It's just a couple of things back in his history. We're going to go through everyone's history, or are we going to get rid of every sketch that SNL has done that involves race? Like, I remember John Belushi dressing as an Asian man with a samurai sword. That was the whole sketch.
Go back and also try to look at good things that the person might have done, or are they just looking for the bad stuff? Is it you just scroll through, help cat out of a tree? That's not it. Help grandmother walk across the street? That's not it. You know, said something on a podcast. There it is.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, you could do that. You could honestly do that to anybody. So I don't get it. And then I don't get if you say something like that, you can't work in a sketch show, but like it's okay from what? He can work in a lumber yard?
Norm McDonald even came to Gillis's defense. Hey Shane, I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine how you must feel. The work it takes to get to that show and to have it snatched away by some guy who does spoken bird poetry, unacceptable. Please DM me, pal, when you have a moment. I'm so sorry.
Can you share some of the stuff
with Norm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you have with Norm?
It was just, he reached out. He was a big, when people were going through it, Norm was one of the guys that would always reach out. And yeah, that was it. Just reached out. He sent me some cool stuff about like, funny will win.
Yeah.
That was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
amazing.
like, there's a war right, I don't want to spill the beans on a nice thing, but it was like,
You guys had a private thing.
yeah, it was cool.
But
and
he
it
was
ended,
very supportive
yeah,
when you were
and
going
he
through your
spoke
stuff.
like poetically.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it ended, one of the messages ended with like, in a war for comedy, I think the ones with jokes will win. I was just like, yo,
Yeah.
That's fire.
Norm McDonald is king.
Since getting fired from SNL, Shane Gillis has risen to become one of the top comedians in the country with a long career ahead. Like Gillis, finding success after Saturday Night Live is exactly what Chris Rock did. Chris Rock's journey on Saturday Night Live began when he was hired as a cast member in the 1990 to 1991 season. Known for his sharp wit and distinctive comedic style, Rock quickly became a standout on the show. His impact was particularly felt during his time as a co-anchor on the Weekend Update segment, where his insightful social commentary and humorous take on current events left a lasting impression.
Came up with this word, Yaku. Let's see if it works. Hey, Kevin.
Yes, Chris, what is it?
Shut up, you stupid Yaku.
Hey, Chris, come on, that's racist.
Hey, I guess it works.
However, after 3 successful seasons, Saturday Night Live elected to move on from Chris Rock in 1993, once he had expressed he was interested in pursuing more creative jokes and sketches.
I was fired by NBC.
Yes.
Then I went on and lived in color. 3 weeks later, they took it off TV.
It's okay. You hang in there, all right? You keep going after your dream. Okay.
This move proved to be pivotal for Chris Rock's career. Following his departure from SNL, he embarked on a highly successful journey in stand-up comedy, delivering critically acclaimed specials that showcase his thought-provoking humor.
Nothing more racist than an old black man. You know why? Because an old black man went through some real racism. He ain't go through that I can't get a cab shit. He was the cab. White man just jump on his back, Main Street.
Simultaneously, Rock transitioned into the film industry, starring in movies and earning accolades for his performances. This is a similar story for Rock's SNL castmate Adam Sandler. Sandler joined the SNL cast as a writer in 1990 and quickly became one of the standout performers during his time on the show, remaining a cast member until 1995. Sandler was known for creating memorable characters and sketches that became instant classics. Characters like Opera Man,
The Donaldo es el dado.
Canteen Boy,
Canteen Boy. This guy is so sad. Oh, no, he's the king. He's the king. This is going to be great. Watch this. Hey, Canteen Boy, can I help you with something?
Not right now, Mr. McGrath. Just getting myself situated.
Oh, well, you know, I wouldn't want to rush you, Canteen Boy, because you're one crazy, wild man.
Whatever.
and Cajun Man showcased his comedic range and distinctive style.
Cajun Man, let's get right to it. I want to hear your picks.
Prediction.
Okay, we'll start with the Southwest. Who do you like coming out of that bracket?
Michigan.
Okay, the Wolverines. Okay, how about the West?
Yukon.
University of Connecticut. Okay, the Huskies. I see. How about the Midwest?
USC.
USC. Oh, that seems like an odd choice for you, Cajun Man.
Trojans.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. Okay.
In addition to his characters, Sandler contributed to the Weekend Update segment with his humorous commentary and original songs.
My mom bought you when I was just 13. The brightest red sweatshirt that I'd ever seen. She got an extra large so I wouldn't grow out. That's too big for you, the other children would shout.
His musical performances, often accompanied by his guitar, became a signature element of his SNL tenure.
Put on your yarmulke, here comes Hanukkah. So much Hanukkah to celebrate Hanukkah.
Adam Sandler had a strong comedic partnership with fellow SNL cast member Chris Farley. The duo created several memorable sketches, including the Gap Girls.
Reminds me, I have a joke. I heard Michael Jackson went shopping at Kmart because there was a sale.
You screwed it up, Dumbo. He went shopping at Kmart because he heard Little Boy's pants were half off.
And Schmidt's gay beer commercial, which showcased their chemistry and comedic timing. But even though Sandler had some very iconic moments on SNL, his goofy, childish sense of humor did not sit well with critics and NBC executives. In an era where SNL ratings continued to tank, NBC felt this cast was not working and grew tired of putting up with the shenanigans. This led to the entire cast getting let go, except for David Spade. But getting fired from SNL may have been the best thing for Sandler. His next move? In 1995, he began to pursue a career in film, which led to much success. He went on to star in a series of successful comedy films, including Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and The Waterboy, establishing himself as a leading figure in comedy cinema. Just like Adam Sandler, Robert Downey Jr. was also fired from SNL and went on to find great success on the big screen. Before becoming the iconic Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Robert Downey Jr. had a brief stint on Saturday Night Live, but his time on the show was short-lived, lasting only a single season before getting fired in 1986.
1985-86, important year in your life. You joined the cast of Saturday Night Live. Something a lot of people don't really remember, but how was that year and how was that experience for you?
It was the first year that Lorne Michaels came back. I went in and auditioned. Anthony Michael Hall was already on the show. I really learned a lot. Really learned a lot. It was also just crazy. I mean, I guess I was like 19 or 20. I don't know, I forget. And he was younger. He still is. And, God, what a year. What a year it was. What am I, Peter O'Toole? It was tough, and I learned a lot. And I don't complain on film sets nearly as much as I should because of that experience.
After years of declining ratings, SNL producer Lorne Michaels decided to take an unconventional approach. He opted to bring in a group of up-and-coming actors who, despite not being traditional comedians, were tasked with revitalizing the cast. Alongside Downey, this ensemble included talents like Joan Cusack, Randy Quaid, and Anthony Michael Hall, the youngest ever SNL cast member at just 17. Despite the presence of established comedians like Dennis Miller and John Lovitz, the 1985 to 1986 season turned out to be a disappointment. Ratings plummeted and reviews were largely unfavorable. As the season concluded, NBC executives contemplated ending Saturday Night Live altogether. However, Michaels persuaded them to grant him another opportunity, pledging to assemble a more suitable cast for the future. Consequently, almost every member of the existing cast, including Downey, was released after just one season. Reflecting on his time on SNL, Downey acknowledged having fond memories but admitted that he realized he was ill-suited for the fast-paced world of sketch comedy.
Wait, I remember that season. That was like you, was it
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
It was Damon Wayans was on it.
That's right.
Randy Quaid?
Yes.
Yeah, it was not John Lovitz.
Oh my God.
There it is.
Did you, were you by yourself in your office or did you have a roommate?
Anthony Michael Hall and I had the old offices of Belushi and Aykroyd. We asked for bunk beds with NFL sheets.
Did you?
Yeah, we thought, like, just give them a long rider, like you have a bunch of demands. They're like, yeah, let's give them that. Now write some funny stuff.
Do anything funny, yeah. Did you write anything that ever got on, or?
The only thing I wrote that made it almost close to air was this ridiculous sketch called Suitcase Boy, where I came out with a suitcase zipped up around my neck and said a bunch of non sequiturs, and it was so not funny.
Hey. Life is an emergency, and my books are overdue. No thanks to you!
Fortunately, Downey's career took a positive turn, leading to his eventual success in Hollywood. After personal struggles off-camera, Robert Downey Jr. had a spectacular comeback in the 2000s that catapulted him to stardom.
Because when I couldn't get sober, he told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. Didn't have to be his or anyone else's as long as it was rooted in forgiveness. And I couldn't get hired, so he cast me in the lead of a movie that was actually developed for him, and he kept a roof over my head, and he kept food on the table. And most importantly, he said that if I accepted responsibility for my wrongdoings, and if I embraced that part of my soul that was ugly, hugging the cactus, he calls it, he said that if I hugged the cactus long enough, I'd become a man of some humility, and that my life would take on a new meaning. And I did, and it worked. All he asked in return was that someday I help the next guy in some small way.
His portrayal of Tony Stark / Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe became iconic, contributing significantly to the franchise's success. Downey seamlessly transitioned between genres, showcasing his versatility in films like Chaplin, Sherlock Holmes, and Tropic Thunder, for which he received an Academy Award nomination. Beyond acting, he established himself as one of the industry's highest paid actors, with career earnings in the hundreds of millions of dollars. At the end of the day, it always works out.